For sure. That would be my pleasure. So, our next speaker is Mr. Hitesh Chandel. Do we have him
Yes, we do.
with us? Okay,
Let me
great.
quickly
Hitesh
add
ji,
him to
yeah.
the spotlight, and there he
Yes,
is. Hi,
please.
Hitesh.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So,
Thank you.
yes,
Thank you.
Mr. Hitesh Chandel is the managing director and the chief mentor of Defined Values Consultants. Before entering into his entrepreneurial journey in year 2013, he worked with leading IT multinational organizations on various technical and managerial roles for 14 years. There was something buried deep in his heart to channelize his energies towards organizing his country and re-establishing his status as Sone ki Chidiya. That is my favorite line, Hitesh. Um,
Thank you.
Golden Bird, and Vishwa Guru, mentor of the world. This inspired him to do a deep research on the ancient Vedic philosophy and contemporary Western organizational development philosophies to create a blended human and organizational development framework. My God, that was mouthful, but yeah, it speaks a lot about you. Self-actualized leadership development program, which has best of both worlds integrated into the same. He published his extensive research outcome in the form of a book titled Code of Citizens Conduct. Awesome. So to summarize, he is an author. Se- uh, first time when I read this, it said serial entrepreneur, and for me it came as serial killer. Okay, but please, no offense. Okay, it was just my mind playing with me.
That is very, very
Serial
similar to that.
entrepreneur.
It's killing the ignorance of the people. So serial killer is also okay.
Absolutely great. Thank you so much for being so sporty. And then spiritual revolutionary leadership coach and definitely a visionary thought leader. So all yours, Hitesh. Stage is yours. Go ahead and share your knowledge. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Thank you. So, of course, the introduction could not be completed in 90 words, but there was a lot to say because every person who is on the path of reforms is a story to tell. And as we will learn in the session today, everyone is carrying that potential to be a story which can be told to our coming generations. And this is not a new phenomenon. This is eternal. This is happening since the time humans got civilized and organized. And the session today will give that connecting point between those ancient civilizations and what we need today. How they were able to organize them well, even without all these modern technologies and support systems that we have today. So that gives a lot of wisdom, lot of insights to solve today's problems, because the problems of the today's world have reached to their tipping point, and that's why we keep calling that as a VUCA world also, which is volatile, uncertain, chaotic, and ambiguous. Because if it happens for a long time to come, then ultimately it means it becomes very difficult to predict the things and predict the future for the coming generations. So we can do that prediction. We have that built-in facility in our human machine to be a visionary. Only if we take our point of view to a certain level, certain evolved level, which I have named, of course, borrowing it from Abraham Maslow's model. So I have named that as self-actualization. So the topic for today is self-realization and self-actualization. I'll share a PPT and we'll talk about it for 15-20 minutes. And then for 5 minutes, we can have questions if somebody wants. Kindly give me the share permission. Okay, it's there. Okay, so here we go. Self-realization and self-actualization. So a lot of people talk about self-realization these days, but more than that, the word self-actualization attracts our attention. How to convert this realization into actualization? How to, because most of the people would agree that self-realization means realizing the God within, the highest potential, and self-actualization means converting that potential energy into the tangible leadership work. So a lot of work is done by Abraham Maslow on it. We have extended his model several notches. and added several more dimensions to it. And we claim that every problem of the world can be resolved through Abraham Maslow's model itself. So it's a good news that we are now sharing something, discussing something which will solve everyone's problem. At least everyone can get the insight and the vision to see, yes, these are the possibilities which we are carrying in our human machine. So thanks WTO and Amplify to give this opportunity to share this knowledge in front of you. And I would love to be in connect with all of you even after the session, so that we can continue to discuss on these very important topics, which are very much relevant, eternal, and will help us in a big way. Okay, so everyone, every human being, let's talk about human beings only, are here on this planet to do some work. We have a role to play. We have a reason to exist. We have a why of our existence. So in this session, we will try to derive it through a common sense knowledge, common sense understanding of principles to finally see that yes, all these are our roles and our responsibilities and accountabilities. So this screen talks about that the entire universe, the ecosystem, is nothing but a combination of several living and non-living entities, which are joined together and are interacting together through energy flow. So ultimately, every object and subject is also energy, and every interaction that is happening within those objects and subjects are also energy flows only. So if this energy flows happens based on principles, then it will create solution. But if it is not happening as per the principles, then it will create problems. So if in any ecosystem we have more problems, high number of problems, it means something somewhere is definitely going wrong. We have lost our direction, due to which we are becoming part of problem creation rather than solution creation. Ecosystem as such is not bothered by any problem that we humans create or any other species create, but these problems become botheration for human beings. And this is exactly the reason why we work. Everyone on this planet works. If even if you are in any profession, we work only to solve the problems of the people. Is there anyone in the group who is not into the profession of solving problems of the people? So you can respond that to the chat box. Everyone is solving somebody's problem. Now, if we are in the right direction, our contribution, our work will contribute in creating the golden age ecosystem. But if we are in the wrong direction, then knowingly or unknowingly, willingly or unwillingly, we are becoming part of creating dark age. So these are two endpoints. The best performance of ecosystem, golden age, the worst performance of the ecosystem, dark age. You can derive that through very simple common sense logic. And let us give some identification marks to these golden age and dark age. Golden age is when we have a booming economy, highly competent leadership pipeline, abundance of food, minimum diseases, harmony between people, and a robust infrastructure catering to all human needs. If this is the state of the ecosystem, diagnosis of the ecosystem, then we can say, yes, we have arrived at golden age. On the other hand, if we are on the wrong direction and continuously moving into that, we will go towards dark age, in which there will be a doomsday for economy, downward spiral of leadership pipeline, scarcity of food and natural resources, a sick and ill society, disharmony between people, and a choked infrastructure of the cities. So if we do a guesstimate, we can very well understand that most of the dark age related parameters are becoming prominent. Even though we have a lot of technological evolution, lot of support system, lot of uh, resources to do that, but still we are not arriving at the golden age. Something somewhere is definitely being missed by all the leaders. Now, if the world is governed by enlightened leaders, people who know the truth, who are realized, who have who are on the path of self-actualization, they become solution creators. On the other hand, other leaders who are not on that path, who are not in the right direction, they become problem creators. And because large number of people are following both types of leaders, good leaders, bad leaders, enlightened leaders, dark leaders, large number of people follow them. That's why they start becoming leaders for others. and the direction showing like lighthouse for the others. So if a leader goes into wrong direction, several people behind them also go into wrong direction, and thereby creating problems for the world. So this ecosystem has to be ultimately kept organized, but right now it is not. Right now, all the four pillars, education, governance, business services, are in very bad shape. You can see all these problems reaching to their tipping point, and tipping point, after which it becomes catastrophic and becomes difficult for anyone to manage that. So we all know that problems are opportunities. So no matter we have lots of problems in the ecosystem, all of them are opportunities for all those people who want to do something meaningful. So it is a grand opportunity for us to create our unique leadership space by taking responsibility, accountability of some part of the ecosystem and organize that. And that's exactly what leaders are supposed to do. India itself needs 1 million enlightened change leaders by year 2025, and world needs 1 crore or 10 million self-actualized change leaders by 2050, so that we can lead the world towards the golden age. This is our diagnosis and guesstimate that how many leaders would be required. Now, a lot is talked about enlightenment these days, so I'll give a very quick introduction about it. Everyone who is carrying a why, a reason, or a mission of living their life, that depends upon the vision that is enabled within them. So if there is no vision, then we will not be able to aim it correctly. We will not know what our mission is. We will not know whether the mission is in the right direction at first place or not. So it all depends upon our ability to see the absolute truth. Because whatever we perceive based on our vision. So the mission of a person is based on the vision about the truth. Now, how to see this vision? How to see the maximum vision that we are carrying? We need to do some shift within to reach to that maximum and see the world from there and have a world view which is close to absolute truth. So if we have to shift our point of view from our current one to that one, which is maximum, we need to know and be prepared with few things. The first thing that we need to know is destination, the end point, the maximum potential at which we will reach after doing all the journey, right? So first thing is destination. Second thing is source, where you are today vis-a-vis the maximum potential that we are carrying. Then the straight line between the source and destination is called as direction. So if we have to be sure that we are in the right direction, we need to know the source and destination very clearly. We need to know what is maximum, and we need to know where we are today as compared to maximum. Then after getting the direction, we need a medium, the means to reach there, the means to reach at destination, the means to see the world from the destination. And finally, we need the path. So if these 5 variables are known, then we can say that yes, we are contributing in creating the world, which is golden age. Otherwise, as somebody has rightly said, that there is no more neutrality in the world. Either you are part of solution or you are definitely part of the problem. So we have to do our organization based on these 5 things: vision of source, vision of destination, then mission, then strategy, goals, objectives, action plan, and finally action. But not many people think about all of them, and they just directly do the action, thinking that they are in the right direction, they are doing the right thing. But unless you have all the things fixed, the action on the ground is not going into the right direction. So all these have to be known. Now, based on how much vision is enabled, our role is already eternally defined into the ecosystem. And one of the speakers before this session was talking about values. So for everything, for every action, the reaction, the effect, the value is already coded into the ecosystem. It's not that we can define those values. We can just know those eternally defined values. And the more vision we have, the more values we can understand. So if a person is totally ignorant about all the 4 aspects of work, who, why, how, and what, he is ignorant and he cannot take actions. No contribution towards building the ecosystem. If the person can only understand what to do and what not to do, but he is not aware of how, why, and who, then at the max he can work as an effective worker. The manager, leader, and mentor role cannot be played by this person. because the control of the human machine is in the unconscious mind state. Then if the person knows the what and how also, that person can become effective manager, right? Even though why and who are not enabled, but at least if how is enabled and the person has reached to the subconscious mind, then he can become manager. But this is not sufficient to become a leader. To become a leader, a person must be aware of the why of his existence every moment. Without cognizance of why, we cannot make sure that we are contributing in our own mission. So the person has to give the control of his human machine into conscious mind. Subconscious mind can only repeat what we have learned. It is the conscious mind which remains out of the box and keep creating the things. The high creativity comes when we are in this zone. So such people become effective leaders. Other people start seeing them as lighthouse and start following them. And that's how leaders are created. Finally, in order to become the fourth role, effective mentor, even knowing the why is not sufficient. The person must know the who and deliver the why. Enable the why in other people. Such people become mentor. So these are the four eternal roles which are defined in our ancient scripture also. There it was called with a different name which may be sounding like Hinduism today, Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. But it's not Hinduism. It's eternal roles. Even in today's corporate world, multinationals, only these four roles exist. And that's why they are eternal. So these people were called as Brahmin, these were called as Kshatriya, these were called as Vaishya, and these were called as Shudra. And these were called as Malechya, right? So we have converted that ancient vision into, or wisdom, into a contemporary format, which is highly useful for the people today. Now, this is how our stimulus response is happening within us. These five states of mind, that is inert mind, unconscious mind, subconscious mind, conscious mind, and superconscious mind, their role is already defined. So inert mind is ignorant, then unconscious mind destroys. If they are not tamed, if they are not kept under deterrence and control, they will keep destroying. Subconscious minds can operate on the things which are already created. That means things have already come into visible domain, then you are operating it. It is the conscious mind which keeps generating. And these three are eternal functions: generator, operator, destroyer. Sometimes collectively are called as God functions. You can see that as through a common sense logic also, that these three functions are the only functions which exist. There is a fourth function which actually is like akarta, not doing anything, is observer. No generation, no operation, no destruction, but as an observer, the person is working. And these observers are the ones who can bring the quality addition to the overall work, right? They are the supervisor of everything. So those people who reach here, they become observer. Drishta bhav. This is called as drishta bhav. So these are the roles. Now we have related that with Abraham Maslow's model. I hope most of you have seen this model. This is called as Maslow's hierarchy of human needs, sometimes called as Maslow's motivation model. So as per this model, these are the basic needs of human beings. And as a person evolves from one level to another, his performance starts changing, his why of working starts changing, and his drives also change. Unless the person reaches here, he will not perform at his peak potential. This was as per the Maslow's model. So we have related other eternal principles into it and found that if a person is only cognizant of these needs, you can't even employ that person meaningfully. If his mind is full with breathing, food, water, sex, sleep, excretion, homeostasis, air, clothing, warmth, etc., that means the person is in survival mode. So he remains ineffective worker. When he grows further, then he starts becoming effective worker, ineffective manager, then ineffective leader. Ineffective leader means he develops all the abilities to lead. The only thing which is missed is the sense of right direction. In the absence of sense of right direction, the person may lead into wrong direction also. Then comes the effective leadership zone when the person becomes self-actualized, and then ineffective mentor, and finally effective mentor. Why ineffective mentor? Because without getting the direct cognizance of absolute truth himself, the person cannot effectively mentor others. He cannot become an authority to mentor other people unless he has seen the absolute truth and has done the Brahma Darshan or Brahma Gyan, right? So these are our evolution zone, and these exist in every human being. Everyone has potentiality to do this. So again, relating the Maslow model with our 4 dimension, it is like this. The bottommost is only biological functions. Then these are biochemical, then chemical, then chemical plus intelligence, which we sometimes called as emotional intelligence. Then these are logical functions, and these are philosophical functions. So based on that, our evolution is decided. So if we do a transformation within, and of course we are talking about world transformation, so the topic was quite relevant to that. So if we are thinking about world transformation, we have to transform individuals, and these individuals have to be pushed or pulled into their higher zone of operating. This is where the solution to every problem of the world lies. If you make them higher zone conscious, they will become high potential to solve the problems. And this is how it was related in the ancient world as 4 aims of human life: dharma, artha, kama, moksha. The mind needs dharma. The mind's fulfillment happens when it comes to know about what is right, what is wrong. The heart gets fulfillment through earth, through material. The body gets fulfillment through pleasures, calm. And soul gets fulfillment through moksha, which means becoming an independent, liberated observer. So all 4 dimensions of all human beings, if they are developed through a methodical right way, then the entire world will be transformed very fast. So this is further extension to Maslow's model. Till previous slide, it was the original Maslow model. So we have related that with the 7 energy centers that we talk about in yoga system, that these are nothing but our 7 chakras. And these chakras are nothing but chakra view. This illusion, the game of illusion in which you have to jump from one orbit to another. And as per Newton's law also, every object in the state of motion will remain in that state of motion unless you apply an external force. So from jumping from 1 to 2, some other force is required. Jumping from second orbit to third orbit, another stimulus is required, till the time the person reaches here and can see and witness the absolute truth himself. So point of view without the rational spirituality is nothing but the illusion created by the mind through its vibrations. So as we keep moving, our ability of solving the problems will keep getting up higher and higher. And this is how you can plot it in the like fluctuation. So the mind keeps fluctuating between various orbits, right? Till the time it becomes self-actualized. After self-actualization, these roadblocks that comes in between, they will be taken care well. And the person remains with clarity of direction most of the time. This is how it works in self-actualized mind, right? He remains connected with the vision of truth and with the clarity of direction. So if the people who are leading the world, people who are leading the other human beings, if they don't have the clarity of direction, they don't have the vision of truth, then we are sorry to say we are all suffering due to that, right? So this has to be developed through a methodical way. Whatever we have developed is called as our realized potential. Whatever is left or yet to be developed is called as latent potential. And whatever we are performing at is our actualized potential. And for this, developing this, we have to travel a journey, which we call as inner journey of moving from ignorance to realization. There is a related prayer in Sanskrit for this: Astoma Sadgame, Tamsoma Jyotirgame, and Mrityorma Amritam Game. So it is nothing but moving inside till the time realization happens, darkness is removed. And every person is part of that golden age and dark age. If we are downwards, individually we are in dark age. If we are at this place, we are individually in golden age. And then it goes to family, then organization, city, state, country, and the entire world. World is nothing but another organization, an organization which is a container organization of every other organization. So if we have to organize that, we have to organize all individual parts as well. So ultimately, this is our leadership space. The more opportunities, the more problems you can see and own, that would become your leadership space. Leadership is all about finding that unique space, unique problem solving space, which you can identify, own, and resolve, right? This is our inbuilt design, right? And once this happens, we can understand the point of view of other people also, can influence them, because as the science also says, 99.9% of human DNA is same across all human beings. So if we know our DNA 100%, with 99.9% precision, we can understand the DNA of other human beings also, and accordingly operate their human machine, influence them, and bring them to the right direction. And this is how the leaders are able to create synergy. So this is the reason behind every great leader. They have understood their DNA, and based on that, they have created an effect on other people and influenced them towards the right direction. Now, because the time is short, I am very quick. So let me just quickly share the last two slides. What stops us? What stops us from getting that absolute observation is 14 types of obstacles. First is disease. If we are diseased, if we have fever or other illness, our concentration from our maximum potential is distracted. Second is dullness. Third is doubts. Fourth is carelessness. Fifth is laziness. Sixth is worldly mindedness. And seventh is delusion. All these, because either we will see the vision or we will see the obstacle. When we see the world, either we are seeing with clarity or what we are seeing is an obstacle. Eighth is non-achievement. Ninth is instability. 10th is dukh, mental pain. 11th is despair. 12th, nervousness. Then breathing in and breathing out. So wherever there is an obstacle, we will get distracted from our maximum potential. So if we take care of these obstacles well, then we are there at our maximum potential most part of the day, and would definitely be able to solve larger problems. So this was from my side, and if somebody has any questions or any comments, it is over to you. I hope everyone enjoyed.
Thank you so much for sharing all of that with us, Hitesh. I mean, it was really enlightening to hear from you. And when you said vision or the obstacle, what do you see? All I could see was a huge traffic jam, and beyond that traffic jam is a movie waiting for me. If I keep looking at the movie, I will go through that jam and I will be there. So, totally resonate with what you just said.
Thanks, Aniket. Thank you.
Tasneem,
Go ahead, Aniket. It's time for us to introduce our next speaker.